You good.
Oh yeah, good. It's on? Right. So, but set aside those old ways, put away those childish things, man, and follow the path that was set before us. And when you go into the when you go into in Matthew 7, it says many were called, many go in the gate. Can you read Matthew? I can't quote it properly. Can you read Matthew 7, the parable, the narrow, wide is the gate?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's like that.
Matthew chapter 7, verse 13. Enter ye in at the straight gate.
Straight gate, talking about difficulties.
For wide is the gate,
right,
and broad is the way that leadeth to destruction, and many there be which go in thereat.
Many there be which go in thereat. Many go in. Okay? But it be a few that find it. Right,
let me finish it. It says, and let us run with patience the race that is set before us, looking unto Yahawashi, the author and finisher of our faith.
Exactly.
Galatians chapter 5, verse 17. For the flesh lusteth against the spirit, and the spirit against the flesh. And these are contrary the one to the other, so that ye cannot do the things that ye would.
Right, so the flesh and the spirit, they're at war with each other, man. There's a constant war going on, you know? Because I'm telling you, there's things that we did in this world that we love doing, man. Once we found out that it was going off, we had to put it away. And there's a lot of times where those urges come, and I'm telling you, it's tempting. But you know what? Just get back in these scriptures, man.
Christianity make it easy to see.
Yeah, you know?
They say all the law done away with.
Right. Hey, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. The scriptures tell you that Esau has smooth words, and then in Isaiah 30, it says our people want to hear smooth things. That's a major stumbling block. Right? It was set up that way. It was completely set up. Hey, it's in demand, and they got the product.
You know? About that straight gate.
Yeah, go ahead, huh?
2nd Ezra chapter 7, verse 7.
Yeah.
The entrance thereof is narrow,
yeah,
and is set in a dangerous place to fall, like as if there were a fire on the right hand,
right,
and on the left a deep water.
Right, so that path is narrow. That straight gate is narrow, man. And easily to fall off on one side or the other side, man. You know? Easily going into that analogy I gave before about a police pulling you over and giving you a sobriety test, man. You know, when you're physically inebriated and you get pulled over by the police, you know, once again, they make you walk on a straight line to see, you know, how drunk you are, whatever the case may be. And then when you fall to either side of that line that he has you walking on, you get that ticket or that DUI. You know, it's the same thing spiritually. You fall to either side of that line, you get burnt up, man. You get consumed with demons, and you go into all kind of wayward doctrines and philosophies. And you know, the Most High will just spew you out of his mouth, man.
And one only path between them both, even between the fire and the water.
One path.
So small that there could be one man go there at once.
You know, going into Philippians 2 and 10, working out your own salvation with fear and trembling. But it said there's one path. There's one path. And that one path is the wisdom, knowledge, and understanding of YAHAWASHI. No Christianity, no Islam, no Buddhism, no do as thou wilt. You know? One path. You know? Anybody, you got something, right? It's one path, man.
Yeah, I got some.
You got the fridge?
You got the fridge? Oh yeah, he got the fridge on the jacket. He got the frizz on the jacket.
There's that Deuteronomy 28 and 28. The Lord shall smite you with madness and astonishment of heart. Yeah, look, but we're a spectacle though. They love seeing us like that.
They know so much, man. This God is so faithful to us that he no place to stay. He telling us about
And what the
Father said, basically to sum it up, you're not gonna find no righteous man in a situation like that, man.
Hey, you know what the scripture says too? Like one thing the Most High hates is a proud man that have nothing, man.
Well, you know, when Mike said in the ancient days when people used to go in the temple and shit like that, even amongst the people that live in the Amazon today, they would take it like a psychedelic drug to make them be able to see different shit, like different demons and shit that they gods that they talking to. You see people be out here homeless and they be like him, you know, on all types of drugs and shit, alcohol, and that shit be demons on them, man. You don't even know what the fuck you talking about. You don't even know what he's saying. He defending this. Let me see real quick. He defending this shit right here. Talking about this shit is love. They love this shit is so much love, right? That after the Renaissance, what is it, 1492, this motherfucker was paraded around the world and made every knee bow to him or they would kill your ass. That's how much love this shit is. But this is the shit he telling us we should worship. That lets you know these people, they are pagans, man. All on pagans, man.
And I'm not going down the street and I see her and the baby by the way. And I'm just wondering, like, the black men in this community help the black women in need. That's all I'm asking.
She try to twist that she goes down the street.
We can do that shit, man.
Does the black woman help the black man? No, we ain't gonna do it. It is.
Sorry, lamentation.
She come out here every weekend and do that same thing.
Like that going to the
Bro, she was like that weekend. And the weekend before that. And the one before that.
going to the auction.
She been out here every week. She been on the other side. You can't see her.
4 and 3.
Yeah, bro. She out here every weekend, bro. She had more crowd than we had. Her crowd be bigger than our crowd. Shit.
I gave it $5, so that's what I said we did.
Every weekend, her crowd be bigger than our crowd.
That's what I'm saying. They looking at that shit from face value because you a tourist with all that mouth. If we here every day and we so-called and do nothing, there must be a reason. She walks
you know what made her mad? I said, yeah, I said, did you? She was like,
I ain't from here. What the hell that got to do with that?
That ain't got nothing to do with it.
Wow, she's from there. That's our black sister though.
What y'all black men,
see what they're doing now.
what y'all black men gonna do for these black women to help the black women? What the black men in this community gonna do to help these black women? What y'all motherfuckers doing to help yourselves, man? I got every nigga out here on child support to get that money, get your nails and shit done. Why you ain't helping her, man? Go ahead and read that out.
This is Lamentations chapter 4, verse 1. How is the gold become dim? How is the most fine gold changed? The stones of the sanctuary are poured out in the top of every street. The precious sons of Zion, comparable to fine gold, how are they esteemed as earthen pitchers, the work of the hands of the potter?
Read that again.
From the top.
Yeah.
Lamentations chapter 4, verse 1. How was the gold become dim? How was the most fine gold changed?
What's that gold? That represents the men of Israel, man. Basically, the men of Yasharallah. Said we were fine gold, man. How is that fine gold become dim? Meaning that we used to be, at one time we were given the laws to make us righteous. But now we're not keeping them laws. We ain't even thinking about them laws. Moses said the law, Moses said that he taught us law, statutes, and commandments, and that the laws would be our wisdom in the sight of the nations. We ain't got no wisdom in the sight of the nations. We ain't got the law. Go ahead.
The stones of the sanctuary are poured out in the top of every street. The precious sons of Zion, comparable to fine gold, how are they esteemed as earthen pitchers, the work of the hands of the potter.
Right.
Even the sea monster draw out the breasts.
Right.
They give suck to their young ones.
Right.
The daughter of my people is become cruel like the ostriches in the wilderness.
Right. Now, our people become cruel towards each other. So she's asking us about why don't the men of this community, what'd you say to her? What'd you say to your chick? And they made them to make her,
She asked us, did we help her? And I said, yeah. And I asked her, did you? And she said,
I'm not from this
from
community,
here.
I'm not from here. And what are you black men in this community gonna do to help her, for the black woman? I'm gonna say this. That scripture said, my people have become cruel like the ostrich, right? I'm about to go into this whole thing with the polygyny. Now, this woman is out here homeless, right? Supposedly, allegedly. Why she ain't help her? These women talk about it's our fault and we need to help these women. But when you bring up to them about the polygamy, what do they say? Oh, hell no. Oh, I ain't finna have no other woman, just because of the hatred and the cruelty to what they have towards each other. So she comes to question us about what we're gonna do to help her, to help the woman. That shows you the hypocrisy and the cruelty of our women. You don't come up here and question us about what are we gonna do, what are you gonna do? Like the dude walked past and he said, oh, look at these motherfuckers. They're standing there, they didn't even help the women over there. Don't even know that the brother already went over there and gave us something. But he didn't do shit. He just walked past and said, ah, look at these motherfuckers. They ain't even gonna do nothing to help her. That's the hypocrisy of this world that we live in, these heathens and amongst our own people. Read that, keep me, nah. Wait. You read that.
It's Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 54. So that the man that is tender among you and very delicate, his eyes shall be evil toward his brother, and toward the wife of his bosom, and toward the remnant of his children, which he shall leave.
Right.
So that he will not give any to any of them of the flesh of his children, whom he shall eat.
Because now you got men, I wouldn't even call them men, that don't even take care of their children. That have children and don't take care of them. Not because they can't, but because they don't want to.
Because he have nothing left him in the siege and in the straightness wherewith thine enemies shall distress thee in thy gates.
Right.
The tender and delicate woman among you.
Same thing.
Bro, you've come up here
You
before.
asked us that
Get out of
before.
here, man. We're not dealing with you.
You see the smile?
Get out of
See
here.
the devilish smile?
Hold on.
Why'd you ask me?
I asked you that because you're religious people.
I'm not religious.
Why you know we're religious? Why you making assumptions?
Why?
Got a lot of energy.
It's all right. You're talking to me. What's up?
I have been here before. Because I live down here. I live downtown. Sorry,
So why'd you ask us that?
living downtown, I see a lot of different people show up and they have a lot of good energy like you do. To make good changes. And
making this city better. And I want to understand why you guys are here spending your time. Yeah, really just tell us we shouldn't be doing this.
That's not true.
Not true. He's not true.
He's not being But let me ask you this.
In many cultures, I've lived in
All right, let me ask you this.
I'll leave because he didn't want to talk.
Why you want to leave now? I want to ask you a question. Did you help her?
I will help her.
No. Before you ask that.
You said you was going to leave. Now you going to help her?
Very good question. Very good question.
So let me ask you this. So do you feel like it's our responsibility to help her?
Everyone's responsibility.
So why didn't you help her first and then ask her?
Because I made sure to check in and wanted to check in the comment.
So why are you worried about if we help her?
Wouldn't helping her first?
Hold on, bro. Hold on. Why are you worried? No, because I'm talking to you.
We are talking.
So why? Okay. So why do you feel that it's more important for you to check in if we helped her rather than hold on, rather than you being the solution to the problem?
That's a very good question. It's a very real question, you know. And those are the types of questions that will help people come closer to you guys and then step away from you.
So what's your answer?
My answer is I didn't do it. I think you're right. I didn't do it. I continued on. I came over here because I saw the drama that's happening here and I went over here.
Do you believe in God? Okay, do you believe in good?
Yeah, I believe in good.
Okay, do you believe that? Do you believe that it's everyone's responsibility to help the poor, the needy, and the fatherless?
What do you have to say, sir? No. We're talking about what does he have to say about me, sir?
He's talking about something totally different. Yeah, he's good. You're dealing with him.
Yes, that's why today when I moved out of my house, I gave the gentleman, you know the gentleman who wears no shirt always? No, we weren't. I went to my house. When I go to my house, we go down right down the street, and he's changing direction. He won't look at me, but that's fine because that's how people do things. Down the street, I went moving out of my house, and you're not even looking at me.
I'm listening to you.
I know. Okay, sorry. I'll talk to you here. So when I was but come on, like that's it. You laugh because it's exactly right.
But why instead of getting your point across, why are you worrying about what you're doing?
Because that's how you treat people.
It's not. But you don't.
So my point across is that down the street where I live, I gave all my things to the neighborhood. The neighborhood is the gentleman who does push-ups. You know the man who does push-ups? Okay, so that's your neighborhood. When he comes
2 minutes, 3 minutes.
The man who rides his bike, right? The lady who has blonde hair, who has gray hair, I gave her my things, right?
So you guys have your in the center state. Because me personally, I grew up in Jamaica.
That's so much to say, but
They're talking to each other.
so down the street, I should, I will go back and take care of what I did. But in my neighborhood where I live, 4 blocks from here, I did all of that.
This is what I'm saying. This is
There's not a
I
specific
feel like
religion, but
because you feel like we're
you
religious,
know how you have like the different
we're not. You feel like we're religious.
You have the Star of David there.
That's not religious.
Bible.
Do you know what this is?
Well, it's the Star of David.
You know what this represents? This is a cultural symbol. Okay, so this is not a religion.
What is this book here?
It's the Bible.
Okay, so how is the Star of David and the book here? No.
You want to know how is this book not religious? What's a religion?
That's not the question I asked. You just told me I needed to answer your question.
I'm asking you a question to answer your question. I'm going to answer your question, but I just want you to answer it. What is a religion?
My religion, I was born and raised.
And how was your religion? What is the word religion?
Religion means religion is a study and understanding and cultural belief. Please record everything because I know he's like going into
Wait. Religion is culture?
No, yeah, religion is culture. Judaism. Let me finish. Judaism is not a culture. It's go to Israel. Have you been to Israel? Okay, if you go there, you'll understand it's a culture. Have you been to Palestine? No, it's not. Well, depending who you believe in, depending what you go, depending what government gives your jurisdiction.
Palestine,
right or not?
It's just a Greek way of saying it.
No, but come on, buddy. Really, in the United States, we have a president who doesn't believe in Palestine. Palestine just got no funding.
Men are Palestinians.
They didn't get funding as of 2 days ago from the United States. They used to get $255 million from the United States, and now they don't get it from the United States because we have a president who doesn't believe it. in division. I'm not trying to get in
What does
anything.
that have to do with what we
No,
talk
I just
about
want-
religion?
You got me to Palestine. Come on. You got me to Palestine.
You started talking about culture. How's that?
Yeah, cultures in Palestine is a culture, right? I went to help you.
So is religion?
So where does this recording go?
It go on YouTube. So is religion? And culture, or are they two
Religions are
different
cultures.
things?
No, religions are cultures. Cultures have religions. Religions are cultures. So like,
Religions are cultures?
well, he's gonna make me look stupid because I'm drunk. I know, I get it.
Or 6 or something like that. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Sit down, have a conversation.
Our religion, 1200 state of life bound by monastic vows, also conduct indicating a belief in a divine power. From Anglo-French religion, Old French religion, piety, devotion, religious community, and directly from the Latin religionem, respect for what is sacred, reverence for the gods, consciousness, sense of right, moral obligation, fear of the gods, divine service, religious observance, a religion, a faith, a mode of worship, cult, sanctity, holiness in the Latin monastic life.
This is Deuteronomy chapter 4. I'm going to start at 5. Behold, I have taught you statutes and judgments, even as the Lord my power commanded me that ye should do so in the land whither ye go to possess it.
Now, hold on. Give me a law. It don't matter what law it is. Give me a law. In fact, give me the adultery law. Deuteronomy 16 and 60.
I think that's 16 is when the strangers have to come in 3 times a year.
Should be the
If you want me to
just get a law. It don't even matter what law it is. Give me
I
law.
was gonna get the Leviticus 9 and 11.
Go ahead. What's that?
It's something simple. Leviticus, you got a law? You want to check it out? This is Leviticus chapter 9.
We're gonna get 3. Go ahead.
9 and 3.
We're gonna get 3 laws.
Leviticus chapter 11, verse 9. These shall ye eat of all that are in the waters. Whatsoever hath fins and scales in the waters, in the seas and in the rivers, them shall ye eat. And all that hath not fins and scales in the seas, and in the rivers of all that move in the waters, and of any living thing which is not in the waters, they shall be an abomination unto you.
Deuteronomy chapter 9, Leviticus 19 and 9.
Leviticus chapter 19, verse 9
Read all the way
says,
to 13.
and when ye reap the harvest of your land, thou shalt not wholly reap the corners of thy field, neither shalt thou gather the gleanings of thy harvest. And thou shalt not glean thy vineyard, neither shalt thou gather every grape of thy vineyard. Thou shalt leave them for the poor, right, and stranger. I am the Lord your power.
That's not a religious law.
Right, yep.
It's a law to help our people, to take care of the poor of our people. So when she came to question us about what the hell we're doing, this law, right, if our people will follow these laws, she wouldn't be over there with no food.
That's a fact. That's a fact.
Keep reading now.
Most High said, follow my laws and choose life, man.
But that's not a religious law. That's not a religion.
Con.
That's what they would call secular. Go ahead.
Verse 11, ye shall not steal, neither deal falsely, neither lie one to another.
Right? When you go into the court and if you lie before the judge, what do they call it?
Perjury.
Is that a religion? Not a religion. It's a law to govern the everyday lives of men so that you can have a productive society. Go ahead.
Verse 12. And ye shall not swear by my name falsely, neither shalt thou profane the name of thy power. I am the Lord.
Right, now, we lived in, we had a theistic government. Theo means God, or power, God, as you understand it. Meaning that the head of our government was the Most High God, our Creator, right? But that was a culture, not a religion. You know?
Verse 13. Thou shalt not defraud thy neighbor, neither rob him. The wages of him that is hired shall not abide with thee all night until the morning.
Now, in America, you have wage laws. Notably, minimum wage laws. It's the same thing in the scriptures. You have to pay the man before the sun went down, because the man needed his money. This is a law, and a law for business. It's not a religious law. Showing you that this book is not a religious book. Now, there are things that you may call a religion as believing in a divine power, but as a whole, this book is not a religious book. It's the same as the Constitution is not a religious document. Keep going. Read verse 15 down to 17.
Verse 15. Ye shall do no unrighteousness in judgment. Thou shalt not respect the person of the poor, nor honor the person of the mighty, but in righteousness thou shalt judge thy neighbor.
Exactly. So, once again, this is talking to the everyday Israelite, but it's also talking to the judges that dwelt inside the gate of the cities, man. Because in the gate of the city, it's like in Orlando, when you go to the city, usually the courthouse is downtown. Well, in the ancient days, in our kingdom, the judges would be in the gate of the city. Right. And that's where the elders and the judges would sit to make judgments upon Israel and upon the people that may have transgressed against each other or broken some of these laws. So this book is not a religious book. It's not a religious book. It's not a religion. It's a cultural book. Just like America has a constitution, a king's list, which we call a president's list, in American history, all right? Courthouses, all right? All these things are contained within the scriptures, showing you that it's a culture. Go back to Deuteronomy again.
Keep continuing that?
No, that's it. Deuteronomy again.
This is Deuteronomy chapter 4, verse 6. Keep therefore and do them, for this is your wisdom.
Out of the top again.
At 5? All right. Deuteronomy chapter 4, verse 5. Behold, I have taught you statutes and judgments, even as the Lord my power commanded me, that ye shall do so in the land whither ye go to possess it.
Now let me tell you this. It don't say that I taught you a religion. Now, what people fail to fucking understand, because these people think in the mindset pertaining to 2018 or 1492 and afterwards, what they don't understand is every people in the ancient days had a God and they had a culture. And most of the time, these people made their own laws. Sometimes they would be inspired by what they said was their God. Sometimes it would just be laws and codes that they had to live by that the king created. And most of the time, the kings were gods. You know, according to them. All right, go ahead.
Verse 6. Keep therefore and do them, for this is your wisdom and your understanding in the sight of the nations, which shall hear all these statutes and say, surely this great nation is a wise and understanding people.
Notice it says statutes. When you go into any law library or you just look on the internet, type in look up the word. When you deal with the word statute, it deals with law, not religion. When you go into Hinduism or Buddhism, even Islam, there's no laws because those are religions.
So I just wanted to bring out a quick point that you said. Go ahead.
The word statutes is H2705. Chok or chak. Statute, ordinance, limit, something prescribed, do, prescribed task, prescribed portion, action prescribed, resolve, prescribed do, prescribed limit, boundary, encampment, decree, ordinance, and the list goes on, man. Law in general, decrees, civil enactments prescribed by God.
What did you want me to do?
I just want to say, you were saying about how this is in a religion, right? It didn't say we were going to discontinue from our religion. It said heritage. So this is Jeremiah 17:4. And thou even thyself shalt discontinue from thine heritage. And when you look up the word heritage, one of the definitions is, it says a special or individual possession, an allotted portion. So like, it's not a religion, it's something that, you know, is given to us, you know what I'm saying? It's a heritage, exactly.
When you read the scriptures,
I'll just get it for you.
You see marriages, you see different ceremonies in the marriage, different traditions that they kept in the marriage. You even see how people speak linguistically in Israel. This is not a religion. This is all cultural things.
Psalms 147:19. He showed his word unto Jacob, his statutes and his judgments unto Yashar'Allah.
Right, showing you that it's statutes, man. That has nothing to do with a religion.
I'll read verse 20. Ye have not dealt so with any nation, and as for his judgments, they have not known them. Praise ye the Lord.
Got it. That was it.
But the land Sabbath, though. The land Sabbath is a big one. The land Sabbath says in Leviticus 25:4. Leviticus chapter 25, verse 4 says, no, verse 3, 6 years thou shalt sow the field, and 6 years thou shalt prune thy vineyard, and gather in the fruit thereof. But in the 7th year shall be a Sabbath of rest unto the land, and a Sabbath for the Lord. Thou shalt neither sow thy field nor prune thy vineyard.
What are you guys doing?
We're out here teaching so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans that they are the children of Israel according to prophecy, that their line goes back to a man named Jacob on their father's side.
Okay.
Not only do we teach them that, how you doing?
Yes, sir.
Not only that, we teach them the name of the Most High and his Son. Teach them to also come back to the ways of our fathers, which is following the law, statutes, and commandments that the Lord gave unto us, our forefathers, when we came out of Egypt.
So what church are you following? What's the church?
The word church means to call out. So right here, this is church. Now, what we're calling out is everything I've told you.
Okay, so what's the name of the church?
We are the Hebrew Israelites that the Bible speaks about. It's a nationality and an ethnic. It's a lineage, a heritage, and a culture. It's not like we just got to the origin.
Yeah, the origin.
Of what? The Hebrew Israelites?
No, yeah, for sure. Because I'm from Egypt.
Okay.
And I don't know, I never heard of your church, so I'm just wondering. Did you guys
It's because we're a people.
Okay.
We're a people. And we're actually the people who served captivity in that land of Egypt.
Okay.
Okay?
He's used to organize religion.
That's what I'm trying to explain to him, that this is not an organized religion such as Christianity, Islam, or Buddhism.
Okay.
This is a culture given to a people. These scriptures was a way to teach these people, the nation of Israel, how to govern themselves, how to serve their God, and also how to treat each other, and also to conduct themselves in the sight of the other nations. But along the way, we have lost that, our culture and our identity through various captivities and diasporas. And now it's our job, because the Most High put the Spirit on us, and we woke up to the understanding of who we are. It's time to wake up the rest of our people that walk by.
Okay. Do you guys have like a website or something for your church?
We're on YouTube.
On YouTube?
GMSORLANDO Camp 2.
GMSORLANDO. Okay. All right. Thank you, guys.
This is Ezekiel chapter 11, verse 17. Therefore say,
Be out. Push me off. I'll get you.
That's crazy.
Why you push them, dickhead? Like, why you push them? Like,
Push him.
Get him safe, man.
Yeah.
Get him on safe, bro. Yeah, but get him on safe. Get him on safe. Alright? Yeah, I'll throw some down. I don't know where anything.
Yeah, I think it is. I totally agree.
all right, Ezekiel. Ezekiel chapter 11, verse 17. Therefore say, thus saith the Lord God, I will even gather you from the people and assemble you out of the country where ye have been scattered, and I will give you the land of Israel. And they shall come thither, and they shall take away all the detestable things thereof, and all the abominations thereof from thence. And I will give them one heart, and I will put a new spirit within you, and I will take the stony heart out of their flesh, and will give them an heart of flesh, that they may walk in my statutes, don't say religion, and keep mine ordinances, and do them, and they shall be my people, and I will be their God.
The moral of this, the guy asked us a question about religion. It's not a religion, man. This is laws, statutes, and commandments given to a people order for them to conduct themselves. Any society has laws, statutes, and commandments. Our laws, statutes, and commandments come from the Supreme Being, the Most High Yahawah. Okay? So they want to turn that and make that and make that the excuse for this being a religious thing. It's not a religion. Okay? All right.
This is Deuteronomy chapter 26, verse 16. This day the Lord thy power hath commanded thee to do these statutes and judgments. Thou shalt therefore keep and do them with all thine heart and with all thy soul.
Right, so keep these with all thine heart and all thy soul, man. And ultimately it's to benefit us and to give us life, man. You know, why wouldn't we want to live in a society where it's a law to sleep with another man's wife? Why wouldn't you want to live in a society that says it's wrong to eat shrimp and crab when you know you're poisoning yourself? What about the pork, the enzymes that's deteriorating the inside of your bodies?
Christianity say love,
you know? But those same Christians uphold the laws of this land more than they uphold the Most High's laws anyway. Because those are the same Christians that would sit there and stop at this red light. Except the Most High's laws are done away with, and everybody's laws are done away with, man. You know? But with that, you know, we're going to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahawah, Ba'ashem, Yahawashi, Ba'ashem, Rakah Kwadash. And again, a double honors unto the apostles and elders at Great Millstone, and a sincere salutation to you, Akim, in the four corners, on the highways and byways, pushing this word in truth and in sincerity, man. Shalom.
Another day in the home.